I never really know how this is going to come out when I start talking. My words don't always land really neat and tidy, and sometimes I circle around and stumble before I finally hit what I'm trying to say. I don't know, maybe that's the point. Maybe there's another man listening right now who doesn't need perfect words. He just needs to hear that someone else out there understands what it's like to be eaten alive by your own thoughts. Because that's what it feels like, isn't it? Like your brain won't shut off, your chest just won't loosen up, your body won't calm down enough, and no matter how much you try to cover it up with success or with work or with numbing, deep down you feel like you're slipping further and further away from who you really are. Now, Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about." It was called The Strangest Secret. Look it up. And when I first heard that, I almost laughed because I thought, well, if that's the case, then I'm screwed. Like, what chance do I have if my thoughts are nothing but fear and shame and anger, insecurity, sadness? What chance do I have if every thought I think is some twisted rerun of the stuff that I went through as a kid? If we become what we think about, then men like me, men like you, it feels like we're already doomed before we even begin. Then I came across James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh. Just that tiny little book, but it hit me harder than anything else I've ever read before. A man is literally what he thinks. There's another line that sat in my chest like a weight, because it made me realize maybe I wasn't cursed. Maybe I wasn't permanently broken. Maybe I'd just been telling myself the same old story so many times that my life had no choice but to follow it. If my thoughts are the soil, then I had been planting nothing but weeds for decades. And if you lived through childhood trauma, you already know this feeling. You didn't ask for it. You didn't choose it, but your body got programmed before you had a chance. You should have been safe, but you weren't. You should have been loved, but you weren't. And now your nervous system lives on edge like it's still waiting for the next hit. You walk into a room and you feel on guard, even when no one's out there to hurt you. Your wife asks you something small and it feels like an attack. Your kids cry, and instead of giving them comfort and empathy, anger shoots out of you before you can stop it. And then what? The shame follows right behind because you don't even understand why you reacted that way. That's the trauma loop, guys. That's the script that runs your life when you don't even realize it. And listen to me right now, okay? I need to stop here for a second and just be straight with you. Because this is where a lot of men stop listening. They hear this and they nod along. They feel it in their gut, but then they go right back to fighting their battles alone. Don't do that, okay? Don't isolate yourself. I built something called Emotionally Jacked, a community. It's not a gimmick. It's not some crazy side hustle, guys. It's a brotherhood, a private community where men can come in raw, where they finally stop pretending, where they can finally say what's really been going on. Listen, if you've been carrying this weight by yourself, if you've been hiding in shame and you don't know what to do, you don't have to do it alone anymore. Click the link that's in the description down below, guys, and join that community. This is where work is happening. It's where you finally realize that you're not the only one living this way, and then you can finally do something about it. Now, the Bible also said it long before any of these other teachers did. There's that verse in there, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now it's no longer just in your head, it's your whole being. It's the thoughts that drop down into your chest and sink into your gut. If your heart is filled with shame, then you're going to live in shame. If your heart is filled with anger, you're going to live in anger. If your heart is filled with fear, you're going to live your whole life being fearful. But if peace ever gets inside, even a drop of peace, your whole world can shift. If love takes root, if joy takes root, your entire reality bends around it. And you guys, that's exactly the type of work that we do inside of that community, Emotionally Jacked. We don't just talk about positivity. We literally rewire your nervous system so that peace and love and joy aren't just words. They become your lived experience. Now, there's this other guy, Neville Goddard. He said it another way. Live in the end. Don't wait for life to change to finally feel different. Don't wait for your wife to forgive you to finally show up as somebody who's worth forgiving. Don't wait until your kids trust you to finally act like a father who can be trusted. Don't wait until peace magically falls on you. You've got to breathe as if peace is already in you. You've got to hold the vision. You've got to feel it like it's already done. And I know that sounds impossible when your body is screaming the opposite. I know how impossible it feels when trauma keeps yanking you back into the old story. And that's why I keep trying to drill this home, you guys. I keep telling you, you don't have to do this alone. That's what Emotionally Jacked is for. That's why it exists. Because alone, your nervous system is going to drag you back into fear every time. But with other men around you, men who get it, men who've done the work, men who refuse to let you sink, you can actually hold that end vision long enough for your body to catch up. And part of the framework that we use in there is called TEDRA. It's TEDRA. Thoughts, emotions, decisions, results, alignment. I want you to get this, okay? So pay attention. Every thought you carry sparks an emotion. That emotion drives your decisions. And those decisions create the results that you're living in right now. And those results show you what you are truly aligned with. What beliefs are you aligned with? Are you aligned with the man that you're meant to be or the man that you're trying to avoid becoming? Most men are caught in this toxic loop. I'm broken is the thought. Shame is the emotion. Numbing out with porn, alcohol, or overworking, those are your decisions. And then what results do you end up creating in your life? Disconnection with your wife and with your kids. And now you have proof that you are broken. And around and around and around, you go on this cycle. That's why life feels like it never changes. But the moment you shift the thought, even just a little bit, just slightly, the whole loop starts to shift. If the thought is, you know what? I'm not done. I can heal. I do matter. That sparks a little bit of hope. And that emotion of hope drives a whole different decision. Maybe tonight you journal instead of drink. Maybe you breathe instead of explode. Maybe you speak instead of hide. Those small new decisions create new results, guys. And then your wife softens. Your kids start to feel safe again. Your body finally starts to relax. And that's how you change the loop. That's how you change your life. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again with the guys that are working and Emotionally Jacked. There was this man who came into the brotherhood and he told us the first thing he thought every single morning was, fuck life, I give up. Like that was his daily script. But now, surrounded by men who wouldn't let him quit, his thoughts started to shift. And it became, you know what? Fuck giving up, I have hope. And later it became, fuck hope, I have purpose. That's not a positive affirmation. That's not some crazy mindset hack. That is his nervous system literally being rewired by a community. That's what happens inside of Emotionally Jacked, you guys. And if you think that you can do this alone on your own, you're lying to yourself. I've tried. Other men have tried. I've watched too many men try and fail. They end up isolating. They keep it in. They say they're going to figure out alone on their own. And every single time the old pattern pulls them back under. Back into porn, back into rage, back into shame, back into despair. Alone, you're going to lose. But with a community, you guys, you increase your chances of winning. That's why Emotionally Jacked is not just another option. It's a lifeline. It's the difference between living and dying. So here's something that I want you to do tonight, okay? I want you to write a letter of intention. Write to yourself 1 year from now. Not using a bunch of hopes or maybes, but write as if you are ready to become that man. And say things like, you know what? I'm intending on becoming a man that my wife loves to be around. I intend on becoming a person that my kids feel safe in my presence. Say things like, I sleep in peace now. I wake up proud. Write it down in present tense and state your intention clearly. From this point forward, what do you intend on doing with your life? You guys, that's how you begin to live in the end. But don't stop there either, okay? Don't think that that letter is going to carry you all by itself, because as soon as you put down the pen, your old voices will probably start creeping back up. And that's why you need a community. That's why you need other people around you reminding you who you really are, holding you accountable to the man that you are writing to, the man that you're writing about. And that's what emotionally jacked really is. It's the container where your transformation actually sticks. You guys, I need to be very clear with you. This is not just a program. This isn't just another community. You guys, this is a real brotherhood where men who thought they were beyond saving come back to life. This is where marriages heal, where fathers reconnect with their kids. This is where men who were drowning finally breathe again. And I'm going to say it until it sinks in, guys. You can't do this alone. You need help. It's okay to need help. I struggled with that for years. You guys, Earl Nightingale was right. James Allen was right. Neville Goddard was right. The Bible was right. We become what we think about. What are you thinking about? You've been thinking that you're broken for long enough. It's time to think something new into existence, but you don't have to do it alone anymore. Okay, click the link in the description, you guys. Join us, join this community. This is your lifeline. This is where your cycle ends. This is where the man that you've been searching for finally has an opportunity to step forward. This is home. Welcome home.